What's up, guys? We're back with Nick and Zach, Ruffo Ceccoli Group, DeSatnick Real Estate. We're here today with Mike and Chris Sciarra, owners, operators, multi-generational family business, Kona Surf Shop, here right in the heart of Wildwood. Good morning, guys. Thanks for meeting with us.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Good. So how's summer going? I know we're kind of in the thick of it now. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it's not the train coming for us. But
we're on the stretch run here, so we're trying to get to Labor Day. Labor Day's a little later this year, which will be good for business, but we're getting through it.
All good.
We feel that same way right now.
Yeah, it's been a surprisingly good summer, though.
That's good. That's good. So you guys obviously been doing this for a long time. Mike, what summer is this for you? Did you lose count?
Oh, I can't count that high.
Okay. So you guys have been around since what, 1973?
69.
I started with the first shop, I think, in 1970, basically. The first store was next to the Apollo restaurant, which is no longer there, and where Mr. D's is.
Mr. D's, okay. Okay, so what got you into, obviously you were a surfer,
Yeah, I had a friend from Florida, and I met him down in Florida when I was down there for a year, and then he came out to Hawaii, and we started surfing all the time together, and his friends came from Jacksonville, and we started making boards. Everybody was kind of the transition time from long boards to short boards, and it was kind of to learn how to make a board. A lot of people were making boards, so I kind of picked it up, and we made our own boards, and I decided maybe I could try this in Wildwood, and the first year I did it like in my garage. I think my parents thought I was crazy. The guy came up with the box of foam, Clark foam. I remember Clark did sell me foam, and I really wasn't a legitimate business, and my mom goes, "What's a blank?" So that's kind of the story, and then she got me a place. She got me the building the next year, and my friend came with us, and we only paid like $700 for the whole summer was the rent, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And there was a place in the back, and we made the boards right in the back of that, believe it or not, for 1 year, until the people that lived upstairs couldn't take the smell of the resin.
Oh, yeah.
So we moved it down to a warehouse in Cedar Avenue.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then you didn't have, so there wasn't really a store yet? It
was a store.
Oh, okay.
And we just had the boards we made, and we bought a few boards, and we had like OPs. It was pretty low key. But
you had like other merchandise in there?
Some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know retail at the time.
Gotcha.
And we kind of just winged it.
So
we closed it after we all went back to college, and it kind of closed. And then after a couple years, 2 summers, we kept it going, and then I decided to make it a full-time thing after I graduated.
Okay.
It's like it was a good decision.
Yeah, worked out.
Yeah. So it's cool now. You got the whole family tree involved here now.
Yep.
Chris involved. So you've been here. You were born into it almost.
Yeah.
Not even almost.
I've been around this my whole life, sitting at the dinner table, listening to this since I've been, small. I remember Dad was always funny. Always when the waves were good, we knew it, because he'd be like, sell my mom to be like, hey, I gotta take the kids out surfing.
Yeah.
So he'd take us out, and he'd be, try to drag us out, and then he's out catching all the waves, and he's an hour later, he's like, how'd you guys do? We practically were like drowning in the
drowning in the white water.
Didn't drown.
So he could sniff there was waves, and we were just entrenched in this lifestyle. I mean, every Easter it was like, where are we going? We're going to Hatteras.
Mm-hmm.
So we would get up Easter morning, get the candy, hop on the ferry, and go to Hatteras.
Yeah,
I think I saw every movie under the sun being down there, VHS, back when there was VHS.
Old school.
And it was in our lifestyle. So yeah, I started 2004, came down and started helping. I said I'll never get involved with the family business.
And here you are.
Eat my words.
Yeah.
But it was the best thing I've ever done. So 2004, I started helping them. I had this idea. I said, if I come and help you, let's try to see if we can build this online business. So I kind of started with that, and then I just, 23 years later, just learned a lot and kind of grew it to kind of where it is today. But it was great thing about Dad is he gave me the opportunity to create something different in what he already had.
Yeah, and to just
So
go for
and
it.
we work great together. Family business is hard. It's not
Yeah.
easy, but we have a good dynamics between each other, and so far it's worked out well.
Yeah, and you always kept it along the roots.
Yeah.
And I know you did. What year was it? 2015, I'd say. You did the rebrand, right?
Yeah, I would say it was probably about 2014, 2015. We did the rebrand. I was always in awe on Dad, started the company and built the company where he's building boards. We would have, like you just hit on about when he started getting blanks and the story of Kona. We would have, at dinner, and he would tell me about all these stories. And Jerry Lopez, he learned, was surfing with these guys, all this Hawaii stories. And I was like, Dad, do we have this, unbelievable brand here? I think we could, really kind of rebrand it and create something that you made, in 1970. So let's work on this. And 10, 12 years later, I think we've done a good job of rebranding and bringing back to the roots of what Dad started.
What it was.
I would say like in the 80s and 90s, it was I was in kind of survival mode, how to operate a business to support a family. The winters were always tough. I bought in a lot of different kind of merchandise. We tried a lot of different things. And at that time, it was, a little bit different, the surf world. And I kind of edged away from it for a while and got more into the retail part. And, Chris brought this back, said we got to go back to doing this. And, I was a little skeptical at first. I'm getting a machine to make the boards, etc. And it kind of really worked out. And he's done a great job of finding new product and getting the customers to come in.
At one point, weren't you guys in, I think it was the 90s, early 2000s, one of the biggest Nike dealers on the East Coast?
Yeah, I mean, we carried Nike.
I don't know
We,
about that, but
No, weren't you?
but we did.
yeah,
You were high up there.
Yeah, I mean,
is
he
what I'm
had
saying.
Dad had the wall of shoes.
Yeah.
Dad, at sidewalk sales, we had the Kona outlet on Pacific Ave. I had a front row seat of watching the business for my whole life.
Yeah, the winter business here is always challenging.
Yeah.
Just to try to keep things floating. I mean, you guys know from your business too. The people aren't here; they're here. Everybody, struggles in the winter, and the population here has changed, and it's there's more high end now than it was in the 80s and 90s, and it still was a summer business, but I tried to extend it as much as I could with other products, and their whole retail environment was completely different then. You don't have,
Without the internet.
Amazons and all the stuff you have
Yeah.
now. Forget it. It's
Yeah.
a whole different ballgame.
Whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris, you seem like you have you've had good vision
Yeah.
on which way things are going
Yeah.
and have gone.
Yeah.
What do you see in the next 10 years? What's going to be different? What's going to change?
I think retail is tough in general. Like Dad hit on it when the internet came, things definitely changed. In my opinion, I think with survival, I think people are looking for quality product. People are looking for people who stand behind their product, and I think that's an important thing that he's done from the beginning. But I think that's something that we've dug into even more. To answer your question, what do you think is going to change the next 10 years? I think we just have to continue to evolve. I think business is, a learning experience. There's going to be positives, but there's also going to be negatives, and I think the negatives have to be learned from. I think you have to take the feedback and you have to adjust. I think that's something that we do well, where yes, we have a lot of positive feedback, but there's always room for improvement. And I think in business you have to be open to that feedback, and you have to look in the mirror and make that adjustment and try to do better. and that's just kind of my philosophy, kind of day by day, and try to chip at the iceberg.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good of an answer. as
Let's
anybody
face it,
could
we're
give.
all family business. If it wasn't for his mother and my wife, she was like the glue of the business for years. You know, her bookkeeping skills were, non-computer bookkeeping skills were phenomenal, and she kept us afloat under thick and thin. And, you know, it wasn't for her, I don't know if we'd be here right now.
That's true.
So I have to give her a shout out.
Extra brownie points for that.
Yeah, that was without QuickBooks, and she had, you know, I remember they had a little office in the back there, and she had these big brown cards with all the names on top of all the vendors. And I look back, you know, now using QuickBooks, I'm like, how did you do this and try to keep
It's
all this
interesting
track?
looking back at stuff, but it's like they didn't know any different, right?
Yeah,
That was like, that's what
yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
It is interesting how quickly things are evolving now.
So I do think the computers have made things easier. I think, to their credit, you know, anybody who ran the business in the 80s and 90s, like, you know, it was harder without a computer, and people who withstand that, you got to give them credit.
Yep,
you know, got through
definitely.
that.
Navigating it all.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that helps you guys stand out, especially in the world that we're in now with social media and things like that, is like a authenticity.
Yeah.
There's so much fake and AI, and everybody's an influencer, and everybody's just a quick dollar, and everything's moving fast.
Yeah.
But, you know, to see a multi-generational family business still hanging in there, still growing, you know, and doubling down on what they're doing, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people, even just people from that I talk to, even from not being down here,
Yep.
you know, originally, and, you know, going different places and seeing Kona T-shirts and this and that, and it's like, you know, it's just. I think that's got to be cool, right? If you guys are out places and you somewhere where maybe you don't expect to see one of your shirts, and that has to happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Well, you know, it was funny. I met Jack Moore like the day before, almost 2 days. I happened to run across him. We were talking right before he died. And I said to him, you know, everybody goes by and it looks great from the street. It always looks good from the street, but let's see what's behind the curtain and how hard it is to keep things going.
Yeah.
And it was funny. We had a long talk about that. And like he was the driving force for Maurice for innovation. And, you know, they miss him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
definitely.
he did a lot of things.
Unbelievable
and,
job.
Yeah.
You know, it's a family business too. Well, it's big business, but it's a family business.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, all the businesses down here are basically family business, except for the few chains.
Yeah.
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 That's what makes it kind of special here is everybody supports each other, and
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you go, like, I mean, even, for example, Chris and Zach, you guys are coaches together
Yeah.
on Little League, and you know, you're a realtor, you're running a surf shop, so it's just like, and it's cool that your guys' boys are, you know,
Yeah.
good friends in the school here, and it's all community driven. That's what makes Cape May County special.
It is.
Well, I can tell you a story about Todd.
Oh God.
Okay,
Here we
when
go.
he was in high school. We were surfing at Broadway.
Uh-huh.
And I said, what are you going to do now? You're a senior in high school. Because his mother used to bring Todd and his brother they were swimmers or something in high school.
Todd and Chad,
and we used
yeah.
to sell goggles.
Oh, okay.
And his mother, she would always come in and get goggles for him. And I said to Todd, what are you going to do? He goes, well, I just bought this house, and I think I might try to get into real estate. And, you know, those guys have done unbelievable. You guys have, like, just totally blown me away how impressive you guys operate a business of that scale. Because I look at all, you know, how many people you have working, and it's a big job.
It's a lot.
And it's a lot to keep it straight, and I give those guys a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Todd used to tell me stories, and still does, that Wildwood guys weren't really welcomed in Cape May.
Well, before he was around, we were welcomed.
I
I
heard that.
surfed pre-Todd,
Pre-Todd, yeah, I know.
pre-DeSatnick.
You used to drop in on him and some other guys. And,
We're talking like 70s when, you know, Jack Daly and Steve McDowell. I mean, these guys are like my age. They were like the originals, you know, Stockton. We all surfed together then. It was, you know, they would come to the rocks because you could get there at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was pretty sometimes the high school kids get a little, full of themselves.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
still that
and
way
that happens
today.
if you're like older. I was in my maybe 30 or 40s. And
Yeah.
So, they say, what's this guy doing out here?
I feel
You
that
know?
way now with Lucas and Bex. They tell me
Yeah,
I'm old and over the hill all the time.
Now, I've had a great relationship with the Cape May guys. I mean, unbelievable. From the early 70s till now. Terry Randolph,
Mike Owen.
Mike
Mike
Owen,
Owen.
Mike's,
Helping shape the
great
boards.
surfer,
Yeah.
really a great guy. They have a great crew over there. Jimbo, all of them. That's why I got to get one of those guys in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I can't seem to get him to fill out a form though.
Yeah.
Just fill it out for him.
We need a Cape May guy. We really do.
Yeah.
Jason
And
Ray.
I've been working on it.
Jason Reagan would be a good
Yeah,
addition.
Jason. I have Jason up. He's got a chance. I think he's going to get in at this.
And
next
you
year.
got into the New Jersey Surfing Hall of Fame in 2019,
Yeah,
correct?
Chris.
Yeah.
And I didn't. It's kind of grown. Now they've done a really good job.
They
with
have
it.
grown it.
And next year it's going to be at the Mud Hen.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and they already have the date picked out, so it's going to be a pretty good event.
We'll have to show
And
up.
all the North Jersey guys will be down, and a couple of the surfing celebrities.
I mean, the surfing community is a small but huge industry. I
Well-
feel like everybody knows each other, and it's a tight-knit community, and it's cool to see that they're doing this with the New Jersey Surfing Hall of Fame, and people are coming in, all East Coast royalty surfers, and, it's connecting the dots, and everybody's hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah, but I mean, surfing has grown to phenomenal levels. I mean, back in the '60s, in my my teens, we had very little surfers. I mean, we had, we would surf the fishing pier, which, by the way, is going to be start building
I
next year.
saw that, yeah.
And put it in the water. That was in the water, and that was the Wildwood break, the fishing pier and the rocks. And then Cape May had Poverty and Stockton, and it's changed so much. The beaches have changed, but there's so many new guys coming in, new kids and girls, that it's like just a growing sport.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. Even Zach's going to start surfing, I heard.
Yeah, it'll be a whole new series. Stay
Time.
tuned.
So, fast forward, you did the whole rebrand, Chris,
yeah.
right? And then it was like, okay, time to take it to the next level, and you started developing Kona shapes again
Yeah.
and making surfboards,
Yeah.
and now you have a shaping machine in the back of this board house here, and I know that was like always your vision to
Yep.
recreate what your dad basically started this
Yep.
business. I know that that's grown substantially even since my time here. Like I see Kona boards up and down the East Coast. So I mean, how's the surfboard business been? I know post-COVID it's been very strong because everybody's surfing now.
Yeah.
But custom business is going good.
The custom business is going really well. I want to give a shout out to our our glasser, Brian Fisher. Brian's been with me for probably about 10 years doing the glassing, and he's been, Brian's work. It's gotten better every year. And the CNC machine has caused a lot of pain, but also it's been a kind of a labor of love. So, and I say that is, when I bought the machine, I thought it was going to be an easy process. People think just, put the blank on the machine and it's going to come out perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten quite a few
Yeah.
boards made for me, and it's always changing. And
Yeah.
the blanks even, they're all different.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, that's what makes a
the
matching
stringers
board.
are crooked. We
Yeah.
have tools to make sure it's level on the machine, and then when we flip it, and then if you don't have it in the right spot, you're gonna pinch one rail. Then it's gonna, you're gonna when you do the finish work on it, you're gonna have to change it. So there is things that have to be right when you finish the board on the the machine. We have to make sure we get it in the right position. So all that has been a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Dad hit on Mike Owen, Cape May guy. He does all our finish work. He's also been with me 10 years. We've gotten better. So building a board is just not one piece. The guy who's running the machine, got to make sure it comes out correctly. The guy who's finishing it, make sure he has to keep the hard edge there for the glasser, so he's not taking off too much foam, especially on short boards,
Yes.
and making sure that the glasser has enough foam to work with, and make sure he's not changing the shape. And then the glasser has to do his part. And besides that, we have to make sure we give him a file that's actually a shape that works.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole nother thing. There's so many pieces to this that I've I've learned over the past, close to 15 years about boards, and I'm actively learning. We've made some bad boards, but I think in the past three years, we're starting to really build some boards that really work.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of elements to build a board right. There's just not one piece of it.
And it is tricky here. We don't obviously have the best of waves, but now there's at least wave pool technologies.
Yeah.
I know, you sent Lucas Kaplan and I to Waco, Texas, and it was great coming there with 3 new boards, and you're like, all right, this is the same perfect wave, so I can really tell if it works or doesn't work.
Yeah.
And, that's how it goes.
And we have a lineup of boards. We've built a quiver from, grovelers to fishes to mid-lengths. There's still a lot of beginners with mid-lengths. Our long boards are, really good. So we've built, a board for everybody in our lineup. But what I do is I don't stop creating or thinking. I want to build the best boards we can. So I'm always tinkering, this shape's maybe not working. Let's take this from over here. I kind of call it Mr. Potato Head, trying to put all the pieces together and trying to get that feedback, whether it's good or bad. And we hit on that earlier.
Yeah.
And, trying to get the right rocker for, our waves. I mean, unfortunately we have, less surf sometimes. So we need stage rockers, we need rockers that get us into waves, and we need extra foam at times. So trying to create a quiver that, we have different shapes of boards that will work in our conditions. It's not California. We don't have waves all the time.
No.
It's just the nature of the beast. So, my ear is to the floor, trying to listen to, the feedback and trying to take that feedback and make boards that work. The other thing we've been able to develop that I'm really proud of is our softboard lineup. Our softboard lineup is second to none. It's not just the average soft top. The average soft top out there looks to me the same. It's thick all the way through, square rails, can't turn it, banana rocker.
Thing's a boat.
And it works for beginners, but it's very limited. We've been able to take a lot of DNA from what we're doing with the machine and in our shapes and put that into the soft top lineup.
Yeah.
And we have shapes that actually have foil. We have shapes that actually have rails that aren't square, that'll actually turn. I've been able to work with some local legends, Dean Rendazzo, Jason Reagan, Willie Fannin, and these guys gave me some unbelievable feedback about how the boards are working. We created like a surf school board called the Surf Bus. So this, I have a lot of energy and excitement into that side of the business, the soft top lineup, because in my opinion, the industry, there's not a lot of that out there. And you got one of the high performance models.
Yes.
And it actually surfs like your shortboard.
Yeah, I was riding it. I've actually been riding that all summer, and the Papaya.
Yeah.
The single fin.
Yeah,
is
the
like one
Papaya
of my
is a special one.
I actually get compliments about it all the time. It's actually the Philly special collab with all the Philly logos on it, and people always ask me, "Where'd you get that? Where's it from?" I've never seen anything like that, and that's. I mean, not only does the shape work, but it's cool because it just, it's unique. You're repping your city, and everybody down here mostly is Philadelphia sports fans.
Yeah.
So that's what's so unique and different, and it is fun riding having the ability to ride a foam board and actually make small waves more fun when it's not good in the summer. I know all the Cape May kids say the same thing about those shapes. At the Cove, I think the ratio is pretty good on Kona boards down there at the Cove.
Yeah. I know the Papaya has a sweet spot because everybody wants a Papaya.
Yeah.
This year we built it in a 9.0.
Oh.
And the 9.0, I didn't make enough of them because I had guys calling like, "Do you have any 9.0s left?" And I ended up selling like all the rentals and.
That's good for next year. Now order more of them.
Calling other guys. You got a 9.0? So I found one. The guy called. He's like, "You got one?" I felt like I was at Toys R Us selling like a special toy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was cool.
Back in the day,
Black
Friday,
yeah,
people going crazy for Furbies.
Yeah, Furbies.
So you guys obviously have kept this running for a long time. What's your best piece of advice when it comes to business? Both of you collectively. I mean, two different generations. Of every day. I mean, every day's a new challenge. Every day's hard. I mean, we go through it a lot too, just in real estate, where some days we look at each other and like, man, what the hell are we doing today? And I'd imagine in any business you have that, but you've sustained it for a really long time, and obviously you're doing something right.
Well, you have to be financially somewhat stable. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You gotta give a product. You gotta here. It's a 10-week season, no matter how you look at it. I mean, you got to be ready for the summer. Try to maximize your income in the summer, and figure out what you're going to do next summer, all winter, basically. I mean, that's how it works in retail down here. I mean, they're all in the same boat, whether it's a Boardwalk store or a Cape May Mall store. I mean, there is winter business, and that was always my concern initially. When I started making boards in the beginning, I said, am I going to make enough boards to stay in business here? Mm-hmm. Maybe I do have to sell sneakers or something. I don't know. That's how I kind of looked at it for a while. But Chris has really shown me a way that at first I was a little skeptical, but he's really very creative. We've been able to bring some really great product, have some other people make products that we tell them how to make it, and and we've really been able to put a little stamp on this, whereas before we were kind of like a hodgepodge of things. Mm-hmm. So now this store works with the other store. We still have different things down there, and he's done a great job. And Nick, you were a big help when you worked here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see you going on with a new career. You got a family. You got everybody's got to figure out what they're going to do in life.
Yeah.
I look back and say, I had a great life. What can I say? I wouldn't trade it for nobody.
Yeah, and we had a good time working together too.
I think, to answer your question, I think hard work. I know it's a little cliche, but kind of trumps, sometimes maybe talent. I think that it's one day at a time. It's a big iceberg, and there's no way you're going to be able to chip it all in the first block round. And I think that's kind of the mentality I take is, my strength is some of the back office stuff, and I just take one task at a time to try to, work through it. And it's all risk. Mm-hmm. Anything, your business, my business, all risk. And there's no guarantees in anything, in life or anything. But I think that, me from baseball. When I put my head to something, I give it 100% effort, and I want to be the best I can be. And if I put my head on the pillow at night knowing that, I feel fine, and I give that effort to what we're doing here. And when I came to Dad about the rebranding about 12 years ago, I said, we're going to do this, and I'm going to give it 120%, mm-hmm. and we're going to be creative, and we're going to create something different that's not out there. And it's going to take a lot of hard work, but we're going to chip at it.
Yeah,
and
figure it out.
I think everybody has to have a dream, and it takes work to get to that. Yeah. And listen, I don't have it figured out. It's a work in progress. But I think if you give effort at anything, I think good things will happen.
Comes around.
Yeah. You stay in it, you take care of the work, it'll all work out.
Yeah.
That's good. I agree with that very much as well. So what's next for you guys, Kona? What do we see? You don't have to give us all the inside
details,
but we're trying to get him to retire. No,
he's never going to retire.
Dad'll never retire.
No,
I mean, my grandfather, he lived to 92. He was an old concrete masonry. Yeah. Lived across the street from us. My brother had a landscape business. He had a masonry business, and he worked until he practically died. Mm-hmm. That's in our blood.
Yeah, it's just hard work.
Dad and I, this is more than just people coming in the business, and this is like, there's a bigger thing. I get to spend time with him every day, and these are memories I'll bring forever. Of course. I'll have forever. So that's the best part of it. That's my first takeaway from working together with him, and it's been a great run, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity that he's given me and the boots he put on the ground at the beginning, and I feel like we've done great.
Mm-hmm.
I think with my generation, we were the workers. I mean, I seen my father work. I mean, I seen him go out of business, go back in business. I've seen in-laws, the same thing. I've seen it all, I think. And, you know, it's like I said, it's been a good ride. Chris has done a great job, and, you know, just keep moving on. Hopefully, you know, I can wake up every day and be healthy. That's my goal right now. Try to stay healthy.
And keep surfing, right?
And
Try, yeah, I get out there.
And pop up.
I'm not like I was before, but I
Hey,
can still go out here and there.
you're still getting out there more than most guys in their 70s,
Yeah,
and
it's tough. You know,
Yeah.
it's you know,
And
life
that-
is a ride, and I guess, you know, when you get older, it's you look back with all these memories of things that you did, and it's, you know, you have a different perspective of things, I think.
Did you ever think, Mike, when you started this, that boards would be made on a shaping machine? And number two, did you ever think the Crest Pier would be being built in the water again?
Probably neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy thing. And, you know, surfing in the days, you know, we did these surf movies, you know. I mean, now everything's video, but back in the 70s, they had these movies, like, they would come out, like, from California. And I had a friend, Harry Gibbons, he was a Cape May guy. I don't know if you know the Gibbonses, they were like, had 12 kids, you know. And me and Harry ran these movies. We used to have them at the Crest Pier. We did some in Ocean City, and like Five Summer Stories and Pacific Vibrations, those kind of movies. You can see them on the YouTube now. That some of them are still on the YouTube. I watched some of the old ones, and you know, everybody didn't really know about surfing, and that was like the start of the video thing for surfing. And now it's like total video.
Mm-hmm. Maybe when the Crest Pier's done, Chris, you can get back to showing movies down
Well,
there.
it wasn't on the pier though. It was the old Crest Pier before the new one was built.
Oh,
This
okay.
is a newer one, and it had like 3 little buildings, and we would rent the one for like, you know, I don't know how much, $100 for the night or something. And we would get the movies flown in. They'd have to fly them in, like air freight. We'd have to get them down here because we couldn't keep them too long. They wanted them back.
You have to air freight them back.
A little different today, huh?
Yeah.
Now you
And it was the big movie. There was like a big, I don't know, yeah.
The whole thing,
Yeah, they were
yeah.
like 16 millimeter movies.
That's
And
funny.
we had to have a camera. We
Now
had
it's
to
just
make
a
sure it
link.
worked.
Yeah.
And I remember we had one in Ocean City. And it was Five Summer Stories, and it just came out. And we took it up there, and there must have been like, we never thought that many people would come. It was the only one we ever made a profit on.
That's good. You're just doing it for the love of it. That's
But,
awesome.
yeah, surfing's changed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do a little rapid fire round here. This is where best cup of coffee in Wildwood, best cup of coffee locally. You guys are caffeine guys,
I don't
right?
drink coffee.
He's a
He's a tea
I
guy.
have
tea
tea.
guy.
If I drink coffee, I really get wired.
Yeah, I'm not a I'm the same way. I had to get off coffee 8 years ago.
Right. Okay.
So no coffee for me.
You know.
Best surf spot, surf break, surf spot. Right?
Mike, where's your favorite? I think I
Well,
know the answer.
You know, the Rocks was always our favorite. We had 10 years of being able to access it. And it was like a surf club down there. It was really unbelievable
It
for
was-
10 years. It's a shame, you know, somehow we can't get that, at least part of it opened. But, you know, maybe it's a possibility.
Yeah.
But for me, that was always the, I mean, I surfed I used to like surfing in town in Hawaii and, you know, at Ala Moana. That was really
That's a fun
a
way.
nice way for an East Coast guy. Now these guys, the way they surf today, they're so much more advanced.
It's insane.
They're unbelievable.
I'm sure you probably have a million memories from the shop, but I guess both of you guys, is there any one that sticks out to you more than another over the years? Something funny, something interesting?
I think for me, when I was a kid, we talk about, you know, my years being around the business. Dad used to have this defective kind of station, you know, like little corner of all stuff that came back. And I would go there to find like the best stuff I could grab. So I remember he had this, it was like a mock boogie board, mock Maury board, and had like a little rip on it or something, I grabbed it and I was like so stoked. So I used to find like freestyle watches and like
you'd be stoked
all
on
the
all
stuff.
that,
I
yeah.
grab it and I didn't feel as bad because I knew it was defective. It wasn't, you know,
Taking
something
merchandise
new.
from
the
So
store.
that was like the highlight. I come home with like, mom be like, "What did you grab here?" I'm like, "I got this boogie board. It's got like a little thing and it's fine. It's good." And I was like stoked. That was always a good memory I had.
I should give a shout out to Tony Kritzberg. He's been with us for years. I mean, he ups and downs. He's worked. He's been unbelievable.
years, right?
He's still working. He's 70. Comes works in the summer, and without him either, I don't know if the store would have been
50
successful.
years later.
He's the glue
Always
over there.
showed up. You know, never complained.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He was
Great
like an
worker.
uncle.
He
Yeah.
stuck with us. I knew Tony, you know, years ago, and Tony's a local, and you know, he grew up here and he knew everybody. You know, but he was. I'd like to just give him a little shout out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Just to answer the question on the best surf spot, I'll have to say the Rocks too, but I just want to, like a quick story. Eagles were playing the Vikings. I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago in the playoffs.
He was probably there.
We went and checked the waves at the Rocks, and it was like maybe 3 foot glassy.
Bigger than that.
4
It
foot.
was like
It
perfect.
was perfect. It looked like chocolate milk out there. It was so cold, and nobody was out. And we had like the best session, but it was like that cold. I was like, I just hope Dad comes up after he falls because it was like
missed
that
the
cold.
game.
But we had like the best session that day. I always remember that, and it was like the water was it was like, but it
Yeah,
was
the waves were really.
it was so clean, and I always remember that day. And the Rocks, there was so many waves there, so many different, sections, close to the Rocks. It was a little more pitchy, and then down. Then you had antennas?
Yeah.
Yeah, even when
And
we
that's
were
one of my
kids, we
favorite
would
parts.
ride our bikes down there.
Oh, yeah?
They never really. The Coast Guard were very relaxed in those days. Back in the 70s. So it was a good spot, and we had a great surf sessions all the
I
time.
think part of like winter surfing here in New Jersey, I don't know. It's my favorite. Obviously, the waves are better in the winter when we get more storms and it's freezing cold. But there's something more rewarding and cool about going surfing, and it's the normal person wouldn't touch the ocean.
In the winter, right?
Yeah, and then you're like happy as could be as you're going out, and it's rewarding. It's cold. It does suck getting in and out of the water, but it's always worth it. And then you go. There's nothing better than a warm shower after a winter session.
I've pulled a few wetsuits off him.
We all
he
have.
he always finds someone on the
That's
street
the
to pull a
problem now. I
wetsuit.
can't get them on or get them off.
Yeah.
Used to.
Yeah, if you see Mike down there, you got to help get the
The wetsuit off.
get the wetsuit off.
I think he's earned that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't be surfing if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So if you weren't running Kona here, keeping everything moving, what would you guys be doing? In another world.
I don't know. I mean, I had a college education, but I never really never worked for anybody else but myself. And I think when you do that, you have a tendency to, you're not. It's hard to go to work for somebody else. Even though you have to probably, put more hours in, work weekends, etc.
Yeah.
But that's the way business is, I think. Unless you discover some great software or something,
Sell it out.
and you get a big payout, and who knows about that stuff.
What about you, Chris? Professional tennis player?
No, I think either one of two things: either a GM of a sports team.
Minor league baseball coach.
I don't know about that, or something in the food business. I think one of those two things. I love what I do here, but there's a lot of other things I love too. So
Passionate
I'm
about,
not
yeah.
just kind of a one-trick pony. I enjoy a lot of things, so I could recreate myself if I had to. No problem at all. But creative to me is the number one thing. I love creating things. That's what gets me up every morning. Whatever it is, I enjoy that process of creating things and bring it to life. To me, that's fun. I was never, to be honest with you, I was never a school guy. I didn't love school.
Me
I didn't
neither.
like 9 to, or what was it, 8 to 3 and being stuck in school. from 8 to
Yeah.
3.
I never did good with that either.
I didn't do great with that, but I'd never looked at my watch once working in this business. I never, I got to get out of here at 4 or whatever. because it's just fun.
You just show up every
It's
day.
just such a
and it's-
fun business. It's a fun industry. You know, we've gone to surf expos our whole life. It's just such a cool industry to be involved, and there's great people. I think you experienced that
Yes.
being here.
Yes, I did.
And the people that come through the I would say more both shops, but the board house side, you know, when you're selling board stuff, there's just a stoke on these people's face when you sell them a board. It's you know, it's hard
it's a
to
cool
describe
feeling.
that it's such a unbelievable. They're just so stoked to get aboard and start their surfing journey, or they've already started and they're getting it,
And it's even cool too when you sell it to them, and then you go
Yeah.
see them in the water, and they're like, "Dude, this board's amazing!
Yeah.
It's awesome!" And you're just like, "Oh, I'm happy. I brought this person a smile, and they're stoked
it's
on it."
just such a great industry. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
So much fun.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
You got to
for sure.
join and start surfing.
I gotta get. I'm gonna pick one of these boards out before we leave.
You should probably learn how to swim.
Yeah, learn to swim first. Crawl before you walk. So, if people want to find you guys, what's the best spot? Social media. Obviously, you're right here on the corner, Rio Grande and
This
New
is
Jersey
Arctic,
Avenue.
And then
I know.
the other stores on
this
the
is-
flagship stores on Rio Grande in New Jersey. This is the board house.
On
Board
Arctic-
house.
Yeah.
on Arctic Ave, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rio Grande and
Right
Arctic.
down the street. We have a parking lot in both places. But to find us, you can check us out on konasurfco.com. We're on, Instagram, Kona Surf Company on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and we have a if anybody wants to buy anything online, all the stuff is featured online. They can check out. We can ship anywhere. We ship a lot of boards around the U.S. We do a lot of customs. We just did 3 customs. We did a Steelers board for somebody, which was painful.
That's all right.
Yeah, you see that? I saw that last night. It came out beautiful. I will say that. Brian did a great
it came out
job.
beautiful, but the guy was beyond stoked, and again, I talked about Brian earlier, but to work with him and bring these boards to life, I go back to my creative side. I love working alongside Brian. I love making shapes that work. I love seeing people's face when we create these custom boards, and they're just so stoked. And again, thankful for Brian for seeing that vision and his hard work. And it's so cool to be able to, something he did in his driveway,
What
at
it's
his
turned
house,
into. Yeah.
and be able to recreate that. And Kona Surfboards is back, and it's cool.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you got anything?
No.
Throw in?
I mean,
You guys
thanks
wanna-
again
you guys wanna
for-
plug
Maybe
anything?
shout out to all the surf camps too. I mean, these guys, they're on the beach every day. Dean's Rendazzo and Jason Reagan, Jeff Walden, Willie up in Ocean City. That they brought a lot of new energy to surfing for the beginner, which has really helped all the surf shops. I mean, we wish them all well. Everybody's got to stay in business. Everybody's got to survive, and hopefully, the camps will continue. I know some of these guys get a little burned out by the end of the summer, but they do a good job of bringing new people into the surfing world.
I
And
agree.
even if they're only part-time surfers in the summer, it's great.
Continue for the next generation.
I think it helps the surfing community, like he said, with all the camps. I think there's a lot of new surfers, and I think they all do a great job.
They get hooked,
Yeah.
and then they're a surfer for life. And that's the cool part, is it's unique, and you don't really. It's not like skiing or snowboarding where you have to get a lift ticket each time. You're just going. You get a
It's
board, you
free.
go to the beach, and you're
Free.
just on it.
And in Wildwood, there's no, beach tags, so,
Yeah,
they can,
they're just there. Pay for parking.
Probably not yet.
yeah.
Not yet. Maybe it's coming one day.
During the
That's another-
weekend,
It's
they
another
might need
podcast.
it. Last weekend, it was pretty. Telling you, there was no parking
They're
anywhere.
making
Oh, yeah.
enough money off the meters. They don't need
Yeah.
beach tags right now.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got. Well, North Wildwood, they got pretty expensive meters.
Yeah.
Wildwood's not far behind.
Yeah, I agree. So, thank you again, guys, for
Yeah, it was
doing
great to-
this. I'm happy we
Appreciate
were
it.
able to do this.
Thank you for everybody at home that's checked us out too. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, call Nick or I. Anything surf-wise, merchandise-wise, beach lifestyle-wise, come in and see Mike and Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.